Hello again, everyone. I have just finished watching, as you can probably tell from the title, A Nightmare on Elm Street #1 by Wes Craven. And it's been a very, very long time since I've seen the original of these movies. Several years, in fact. I remember on Halloween, maybe it was 3 years ago, possibly 4, when me and my buddy Tyler decided that we were going to watch that to celebrate the holidays. So, the question really is, how well does it stack up from my first viewing? And it stacks up pretty well, actually. Some of the special effects I think I noticed now are not quite as good as they could have been, especially near the end, but I'll talk about that later. So, plot is what I should probably talk about. The plot is something that really most people should be familiar with. Freddy Krueger is a child murderer who is killed in an act of vigilante justice by the parents of Springwood, Illinois, and his ghost, or spirit, or he's a demon from hell. I don't really know, not up on my Elm Street continuity. Whatever, point is, he comes back from the dead so he can kill the kids of the people who killed him in their dreams, including Nancy, played by Heather Langenkamp. A lot of people strangely call this a slasher movie, which I can't understand at all, because slasher movies have a pretty specific formula, which is where, teenagers smoke weed, drink, have sex, and they get killed by some maniac. Freddy's different. First of all, Freddy has a lot more personality than most serial killers. Yeah, so most like slasher movie killers. Prime example of this is Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, who are about as charismatic as a slab of beef. Maybe this is why I like this series a lot more than Friday the 13th, because I'll take Freddy Krueger and his bad puns over Jason and his total muteness complete any day. So anyways, and another thing that makes this different from regular slasher movies is the relatively low body count. By my count, only 3 people are killed over the course of this film, not including Freddy himself, because we all know he comes back. I mean, look at this box. There's 3 more right here. So anyway, things I like about this movie is I love the score. And you all know what I'm talking about. The bum, 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 bum. But whatever. My off-tune recitations of the soundtrack aside, that's good. The atmosphere is fantastic. All of the nightmare sets look great. Be it in a regular neighborhood or a hellish-looking boiler room. It really looks like something that you could see yourself in a nightmare. Robert Englund's great as Freddy Krueger, as he would continue to be throughout the entire series. One thing I really do like about this movie, and this is something that really isn't brought up enough, is Nancy is a proactive slasher movie protagonist. See, I call it a slasher movie, and that's not even what you should call it. I've seen someone call these, like, rubber reality movies, which I think is a lot more accurate. Anyway, Nancy is a proactive protagonist in these movies in that she actually hatches a plan to kill Freddy Krueger. Imagine that. Someone taking steps to kill the villain. Being that she sets up booby traps and sets her alarm so she can pull Freddy out of the dream so she can kill him. I'm going to get into spoiler territory and talk about some of the not-so-good special effects. So, first of all, Johnny Depp's death. Johnny Depp, as some Johnny Depp fans, I guess, if such a thing exists, and they probably do, might know that he made his film debut in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 as Nancy's boyfriend, who is killed in possibly one of the most unintentionally hilarious ways ever. He gets pulled into a hole in his bed and then spewed out as if his body has been run through a blender. Like his blood and guts are flying all over the place and tatters of his clothing, which it's just so ridiculous. You know, I understand what they were trying to do, but the human body can't hold this much blood. I mean, it's spewing out like Mount Vesuvius, covering like the whole room in red. Yeah, that's not, you can't find that in a human body. Let me tell you. Um, so that kind of ruins the tension there because you're too busy rolling on the floor laughing to be scared. Another example of bad special effects work is the end, which, and I'll talk about the end a little bit more in a second, where Nancy's mom gets yanked through the window, and it's a very, very obvious dummy instead of, you know, like a stunt person or something. Like, it's just poorly shot if you're paying attention. The ending's the only real problem I have in this movie in terms of plot, because the movie ends, spoilers again, with Nancy defeating Freddy Krueger by realizing that she's in a dream and she has the power, not Freddy. Um, so she takes Freddy's power away and wakes up to go to school with her friends, which would be a great ending, but that's not where it ends. It ends with her getting into her boyfriend's car, and then it's a convertible. The top comes down. It's Freddy Krueger's colors, and like the car starts driving itself away, I guess. And then you see Nancy's mom gets yanked through the window. You know why this was done? To set up all of these wonderful sequels you see before you. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed these sequels, but they're not good, except for maybe the third one. Some people argue the second one's good. I think it's okay. The rest are not. But it's so radically different from what Wes Craven originally intended to be the ending. Because it was just tacked on, because they knew this is the 80s. All these serial killer movies are making big bucks if we can turn them into franchises. So that's what we should do. I mean, I can't fault them. This series basically built New Line Cinema, but I guess I can kind of fault them because they sold out the soul of the first movie. But overall, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 is an entertaining horror movie from the 1980s. Certainly has more artistic merit than any of the Friday the 13th movies except for maybe Part 6. So, you know, if you want to be entertained, a little, you know, get a few laughs, get a few scares, actually quite a lot of scares, check it out. I'm Hank, signing off.